In Chapter 6 of The Heart in the Abyss, a historical analysis is made of the moral theological views regarding abortion throughout the centuries, in particular with the tradition of the Catholic Church. Let me summarize these views very briefly. In the Bible, there is one passage from Exodus chapter 21, verses 22 to 25, which explicitly refers to abortion, in this case a miscarriage as a result of a human conflict. This passage should be seen in the context of the 10 Commandments, and in particular of the 5th commandment, "Thou shalt not kill," from the books of Exodus and Deuteronomy. In Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 to 22, Jesus of Nazareth accentuates this commandment with the intention of bringing fulfillment to the ancient writings in the law and the prophets. In the 1st century AD, Christians took over respect for human life in all its stages of development from the Jewish tradition. This attitude brought them into conflict with the surrounding Roman culture. From the Didache onwards, many authors in early Christianity and the Middle Ages condemned the act of procured abortion, regardless of discussions on fully formed or unformed fetuses. Of course, such discussions were hindered by the fact that in those days the egg cell and human genetics were still unknown. Reflection on the relation between body and soul by Thomas Aquinas and others has led to the confirmation of the Catholic doctrine of the unity of body and soul. A few decades later, the dogma of the immortality of the soul was confirmed. During the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, the Church's teaching on abortion has been integrated in canon law. This teaching of how to deal with exceptional situations of indirect abortion was also further elaborated. In the 19th century, after the discovery of the egg cell by Carl Ernst von Baer in 1827, an international consensus grew among theologians regarding the immediate ensoulment of the fertilized embryo. In the 20th century, the Church's doctrine giving equal value to the life of the mother and the unborn human life was confirmed. The Catholic point of view starts from the inviolability of life from the moment of conception, after which the embryo is to be respected and treated as a person. The Church is opposed to governmental support for direct abortion. In 1968, the publication of the encyclical Humanae Vitae resulted in a controversy about autonomy in relation to contraception. From the 1980s, opposition to abortion extended to include criticism of scientific experiments with embryos. The Church is not principally opposed to prenatal diagnosis, but only if this is considered as a forerunner for abortion. With the theology of the body, John Paul II made a contribution to pastoral and moral guidance for responsible parenthood. In their pastoral activities, members of the Church should always make a distinction between a wrongful act and the person who performed the act and who does not lose her or his dignity. As regards the Christian interpretation of conscience and the formation of conscience, the Church affirms the authentic human freedom and autonomy in earthly affairs, as long as this autonomy does not violate the respect for the human person or is opposed to life itself. In pastoral care, the focus should be on self-acceptance, reconciliation, and openness to God's forgiveness and peace.